and go.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
So I brought a little old school back, and the reason I did that, you saw the old logo, is because I got a fellow with me that loves old school sports just like I do. And the way professional sports is turned nowadays, it ain't fun. Please help me welcome the man in charge of the sports report himself, William Morgan. What's up, man?
How you doing today, bro? Good to be back.
Good to have you back, man. We have been talking off and on for years about the toilet drain that professional sports is going down in a hurry. And boy, it is not pretty at all to see what's going on with it.
In the NBA especially.
Which is where we're going. Now, my man here adores the Seattle Supersonics, I beg your pardon. So I decided to put a few clips together to help us in our conversation today. And man, while we put those together, the NBA is just going down the tubes. There's just no other way to say it.
It's gone down the tubes. A lot of it I blame on these so-called analytics people and the whole science of analytics in general that tells you the 3 is better than the 2. So by virtue of that, it takes away to the stuff we grew up with. You know, we grew up in the days of the Detroit Pistons, the toughness, the physicality. But back then, you also got people running pitch, running set plays. The big man was involved. Now your big is taking 3s.
As Jim Durham said best, the late great Jim Durham, what's basketball's most basic play? Pick and roll.
Pick and roll. Mm-hmm.
You don't see it anymore.
John Stockton and Karl Malone perfected that.
I mean, you couldn't defend that.
Nope.
You could try, but you could not defend Stockton Malone's pick and roll. They perfected it. They became the masters of the pick and roll. You don't see that anymore.
And it's a shame. And it's a shame because I'm getting tired of, okay, we're going to take a guard. We're going to come down the court, maybe 1, maybe 2 passes. And before the shot clock in, we're going to take a half court shot or an ill-advised 3.
Say that again. Ill-advised.
Yeah.
Very ill-advised. And since I mentioned the fact that you love the Supersonics, I have a present for you.
Gentlemen, get on your feet for the 1996 Pacific Division champions, your Seattle Supersonics. And today's starting lineup for your Supersonics. A 6'4" guard from Oregon State, number 20, Gary Payton. A 6'3" guard from Grambling University, number 33, Hersey Hawkins. 6'11" center from New Orleans, number 50, Urban Johnson. 6'10" forward from the University of Washington, number 11, Kent and a 6'10" forward from Trinity Junior College, number 40, Sean Kemp. And the head coach of your Seattle Supersonics, George Karl.
You can say a lot about George Karl, but the one thing that you would never ever tell me, he wasn't. You cannot tell me he wasn't a good coach. He might have not been the best person, but in terms of coaching, damn good coach.
He was one of the best.
Yep.
And just that intro for the Seattle Supersonics, not the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Seattle Supersonics. And I believe David Stern had a hand in Oklahoma City not only getting a basketball team, but forcing basketball out of Seattle.
I think he did too. I think him and the city coerced to get that team out of there. I really do. You can't tell me that team could have been saved. You can't tell me that team should have been saved. And now they're talking about bringing them back, but
they should have never gone away.
Should have never left in the first place.
Exactly. You're talking about erasing. And here's the thing that gets me the most. The Oklahoma City Thunder, who has not done a doggone thing since they got to Oklahoma City, gets to share a 41-year history with the team that actually won a championship in 1979 with in the Sonics and made another finals appearance in 1996. You mean OKC gets to share a history with them when the players they brought in beginning in 2008 haven't done a doggone thing? Please, that should not happen.
Nothing. It's a shame, man. It's just a shame that a team that had the athletes on it, the tradition that team has. Detlef Schrempf was a bad man. He was a bad man. We all know what Sean Kemp was. GP, are you with me? Gary Payton changed the way.
I absolutely love Detlef Schrempf. One of the most underrated small forwards I've ever seen play. Ever.
Yep.
And there's a certain person that's in the league right now that claims he's the best that's ever done it. We will definitely get to him. All right, we would definitely get to him. But come on, man. You mean to tell me Detlef Schrempf wasn't all that?
Bad man.
Man played out of Germany, had a 3-point shot out of the University of Washington, spent time with the Dallas Mavericks, later the Indiana Pacers, and then you mean to tell me he wasn't a bad man?
And actually competed on defense.
And actually was in running for Defensive Player of the Year twice. He was in the running for defense. He was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. You can't tell me that I can name so many. I can give you so many Supersonics that played better forward than the person we're about to argue down. But before we get there, and you know what, I may as well get there now. You all know why I have always said that LBJ was a great athlete, but a horrible basketball player. You all know why I said that, and I continue to say that, because his basketball IQ is PU, period. Everybody wants to compliment on, he can play 5 positions. Man, I can give you a player that actually played 5 positions in a game that won him a championship. The date was May 23rd, 1980. The scene of the crime was the Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The situation, the Lakers were up 3-2 in the World Championship Series, but the captain couldn't make it because he had an injured back. What does Magic Johnson do? He goes right up to his coach, Paul Westhead, and says, "Never fear, Magic's here." And that 20-year-old dominated that 6th game.
That's right.
Playing all 5 positions, taking the center jump.
That's right. And played all 5 positions well.
I mean, he defended everybody in that game.
Yep.
No matter what position he played. I mean, Jim Jones was listed at center, but Magic took the center jump.
Yep.
Magic took the center jump. And oh, by the way, Bronzexuals, 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and to this day, the only rookie to be named Finals MVP.
Yep.
To this day.
And another thing that kills me, and like I say, I'm with you when it comes to LeBron in terms of being a great athlete. I will always give him his props on that. But he's lazy on defense.
Very.
He does half the time. He don't want to bring the ball up half the time. And you're the team. You're supposed to be the quote unquote pseudo point guard for the Lakers.
Yeah, right.
I just don't
Michael Cooper
understand.
was a better pseudo point guard for the Lakers than LeBron has ever been.
Oh yeah.
There's a
Oh
name
yeah.
for you, Michael
Oh,
Cooper.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Probably the most underrated Laker.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most underrated Laker.
Him, Kurt Rambis. Give you a few of them. Him, Kurt Rambis, Byron Scott, Michael Thompson.
Love Michael Thompson. Love Michael Thompson back
How
in the
about
day.
all those guys?
Yeah. 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 The NBA
Where do we
is
start?
better athletically than it was back then
Yeah, it was.
because of the evolution of science, nutrition, and athletes taking care of themselves. The problem that comes into play, today's NBA doesn't have the skill of yesteryear's player. You actually had point guards that actually knew how to do their job.
You actually had positions.
Yep.
Today is a positionless NBA.
It's positionless game.
I absolutely hate it.
And the person who makes me sick the most, who has a podcast and talks all this stuff about players of back in the day, Gilbert Arenas, shut up.
Oh my God! You know what? I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea here on the morning show today on this Friday edition. Gilbert Arenas, sit down. Why don't we light the fire by saying, Gilbert Arenas, you have no business having a podcast and talking about players of yesteryear in the NBA and trashing them when you were a trash ass player when you were in the NBA.
Exactly. Go back and he puts down and I see this with a lot of young people, and maybe they just never seen him play, but a lot of people put John Stockton down. Understand what John Stockton did.
Why are they
Understand what John, he still has 2 records that today, and those records will never be broken. And look at how many games he missed throughout his career.
And those 2 records are all-time assists and
all-time assists. Yeah. No one's gonna break those. No one.
No one will break those records.
I better put some. Look, if you gonna tell me that Magic and Isaiah Thomas would be ahead of John Stockton, I got you. I can
dig that because they actually play defense.
Right. But don't tell me John Stockton's not number 3. Don't tell me he's not number 3. People putting Steph in for John.
No,
I'm not.
No, I mean, I'm a Steph Curry fan because of the way he plays and the way he actually has developed at the position that he plays, but I'm not putting him ahead of 3 all-timers. No. I'm not doing it.
Nope.
I'm not doing it.
No.
I can't do it. Not after the basketball I grew up watching since 1980.
Exactly.
I can't do it.
And again, all things change, all things evolve. I get that. I understand that. But at the same point, it doesn't mean it evolves and changes for the better.
And we have prime examples of that.
Mm-hmm.
You see all the team introductions with all the fireworks and the flashing lights and things like that. You know who I'll tell you, I'll give you a one-off. In 1982, when they televised the World Championship Series. And what happened to saying that? The World Championship Series.
Yeah.
When they televised the World Championship Series on CBS, they turned off the lights in the Spectrum, and Dick Stockton introduced the players. I tell you, the team who perfected it, these guys right here. there is the greatest player to ever play the game.
No doubt.
That guy.
No doubt.
Michael Jordan.
No doubt.
There is the greatest player to ever play the game. I mean,
no doubt.
I fell in love with Magic. I fell in love with Julia. God knows I fell in love with Julius Erving.
Yes.
And at first I did that to spite my mother because my mother was a Showtime Laker fan. Did I become a fan of the Showtime Lakers? You better believe I did. Because of the way they played. You better believe I did.
You couldn't help but do that.
You couldn't help it.
Mm-mm.
You couldn't help it. Even fans of teams I hated, the Detroit Pistons of the 80s, the Bad Boys, because of the way they constructed their team. Love those guys. Yep. Boston Celtics. I don't even have to say anything about the Boston Celtics of the 80s, do I? I don't even have to say anything about them.
Nope.
Bird McHale,
Parrish,
Dennis Johnson. Okay.
McHale was the first person that you could really look at and say he was an automatic too.
Mm-hmm.
First player.
Because he had something LeBron doesn't have. Post moves.
Yep.
He can
post moves and know how to use and knows how to position himself to get the advantage on that low block. He knew how to get position on that low block.
Always. You know, I all the time, someone asks me to name a very underrated forward, and the first name I come up with is Julius Erving. And people look at me and say, "What? How can you say Julius Erving is underrated?" I'll tell you why he's underrated. Look at that team that they built in '83.
Facts.
Everything centered around whom? Moses Malone. Love Moses Malone. Moses Malone was that missing piece. But you also had Bobby Jones. You also had Mark Iavaroni. Maurice Cheeks, Andrew Toney. Right? You all had those.
Maurice is underrated. Maurice
is very underrated.
In his own right.
Maurice is underrated. Andrew Toney is underrated.
Yep.
That whole team was underrated.
Yep.
But why is Julius underrated to me? Because he was equipped with something LeBron doesn't have, and this is an example.
And it's 109-108 Philadelphia with 40 seconds to go and 20 on the shot clock. Julius with 10, with Magic guarding him. Erving outside, hits a big one. A big basket. And a 111-108 Philadelphia lead.
Can we say a consistent jumper? Can we say the will to want to win?
Mm-hmm.
Can we say those things about Dr. J?
I say them all the time. How can you go wrong with a jumper that's that wet from someone 6 feet 6 inches tall and was brought up on a jump shot?
Mm-hmm.
Can he fly through the air? Absolutely. We've seen him do it.
Oh yeah.
We've seen him do it.
Oh yeah.
But you're talking about a guy that had the fundamentals down. That was him.
And that's what, and I said so earlier, that's what this game lacks.
Say that again, please.
This is what this game lacks. And it makes me upset when I see somebody like, and I don't know this man personally.
Mm-hmm.
I only know him as a player.
Right.
But Zach LaVine, great athlete, can fly through the sky. But his basketball IQ is terrible. And he makes all that money, and the Bulls can't get rid of him.
You know why? They signed him. They stupidly signed him to an extension they had no business signing him to.
Yeah. I would have let him walk. That's just me.
I'd have let him. I'd have said, "See you later, alligator," and don't come back. I just told him, "Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more."
Yep.
I'd have told him, "Hit the road, Jack."
And it just makes me upset because, yes, again, I'll say it one more time for those who didn't hear me in the children's section. The game has changed. The game has evolved. I understand it. I get that. But if you go back and look at the difference between players of today and players back in the 90s, players back in the 80s, the skill is not there.
Nope.
It's not there.
The fundamentals aren't there either.
Nope.
The fundamentals are missing.
Yeah.
The fundamentals are missing.
Half these players couldn't even run the triangle offense.
Nope.
Half of them couldn't even run.
Half these players can't even run a pick and roll. Let's just be totally honest.
Mm-mm.
Half these players can't even run a pick and roll.
Nope.
or know the fundamental dynamics of a pick and roll.
Right.
In fact, I'll give you 2 players in college that I first fell in love with that ran the pick and roll to death. And those 2 players are Eric Sleepy Floyd and Patrick Ewing.
He done went back to the day. Oh,
did I take you back a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Eric, I'll say that name again. Eric Sleepy Floyd.
Oh man, he was good. 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 He was so good. And therein lies the problem. You can take him. You could take him as the baseline for a lot of these college players out here now, and they can't do what he was doing.
Nope. Here's another thing about point guards that I don't like. They're not running up the floor.
No.
John Stockton always used to. Why don't we just go down and list of point guards that were actual point guards? And I got the most underrated point guard on my lips right now, aside of John Stockton. His name is Kevin Johnson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His name is Kevin Johnson.
People keep telling me the Suns didn't got to the championship because of Barkley. No.
The Suns got to the championship because of KJ.
Exactly.
Listen, KJ was good when he was in Cleveland. He flourished when he got to Phoenix.
Yep.
And speaking of KJ, he shared the floor with someone in Cleveland that also flourished. Here's a name for you because you're an old schooler like I. Here's a name. Yeah, you know who I'm about to say. Here's a name for you young whippersnappers. I think you know what a point guard is. Mark Price.
Yep. And see, a point guard, because a lot of nowadays you got a lot of these point guards that don't do nothing but score.
That's it.
Go back and look. You had players who's scoring 10, maybe 11 points a game. But look at the assist totals between now and back then. Assist totals as a whole for these players aren't now what they used to be back then. You just brought up Mark Price. Mark Price, 8, 9, 10 assists a game. Stockton, 8, 9, 10 assists a game.
Easy.
We don't easy.
You can count on 10 assists a night.
Yeah.
From John Stockton, from KJ, from Tim Hardaway, from Mark Price.
You tap 2-step, boy.
You can count on 10 assists a night from Dennis Johnson.
Yep.
All right, you can count on 10 assists a night from Maurice Cheeks.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Those were point guards, man.
Yep. The only person I will say that will be that you can hold in that ilk, because he's no longer in the league. Rajon Rondo. He's the closest.
Rondo.
He's the closest.
Blackballed him out of the league because
he gone. Yep, blackballed him out the league.
He played the point guard position.
Yep.
He actually played the point guard position.
Yep.
I'll give you. We were talking about forwards earlier. I'll tell you the name of a forward that's underrated, and I'm going to make you smile when I say this name. Does the name Alex English mean anything to you?
From Denver Alex English. Alex English. Yes.
Yes. That Alex English.
Oh man, I remember Alex. Ooh, yeah. I tell you another dude that was underrated.
He was with Alex English.
I tell you another dude that was underrated and small for his size. People keep saying that Charles was the only person small for his size to play the forward spot. No, he wasn't. Go back and look at Adrian Dantley.
Go back and look at Adrian Dantley. Adrian Dantley.
Boy.
Adrian Dantley will bully you.
Yes.
Adrian Dantley will beat you up.
Yes.
And Adrian Dantley had one of the softest touches I've ever seen at a forward position.
He did. Then he got bulleted. Then he got traded over to the Mavericks from Mark Aguirre. I didn't understand that, but whatever.
I didn't understand that. But if you think about it, in a way, Mark Aguirre became better because he learned that system in Detroit.
True.
He learned that system.
Yeah.
He learned that system. Tell you another forward that's underrated, Jerome Kersey.
Yep. People think about Jerome, but Portland wouldn't have been to the final. Those 2 finals they went to if it weren't for Jerome.
If it weren't for Jerome, if it weren't for Clyde Drexler, it wasn't for Terry Porter. There's a point guard for you, Terry Porter. There's a point guard for you.
Yep.
Terry Porter.
Yep. Amazing point guard. and did it the right
out of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. Where the I didn't even when they played the Bulls one year in '88, and Johnny Kerr said out of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. I'm thinking, what the hell is Wisconsin, Stevens Point?
You didn't even know that was a school till
exactly.
You didn't even know I was a school till then, bro.
You didn't realize half of these schools. Longwood College, where Jerome Kersey came from.
Yeah, never heard
Eastern
of that.
Illinois, Kevin Duckworth.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And you're wondering, where the hell are these places?
Where these schools at? Oh my goodness.
I tell you another underrated forward. Sam Perkins.
Yeah.
Don't tell me Sam Perkins wasn't underrated.
He was, and he still don't get respect to this day.
And I'll go a little further back. How about Bobby Jones?
Yeah,
when he was with Philadelphia.
That's another one.
How about Bobby Jones?
That's another one.
He didn't get any love from the forward spot, and yet he knew what to do the whole time he was there.
Yep. Before he became a Bull, let's switch to the center position for a minute. Before he became a Bull, no one looked at Bill Cartwright, but when he was with the Knicks, what?
Man, look,
he was with the Knicks, man. Who? Bill was the man. He was the man.
They tried to convince him to wear elbow pads, and he wasn't having it.
No,
I'm not wearing elbow pads. And someone gets caught in the throat, they get caught in the throat.
They just get caught in the throat. That's all it is. Bad. Then he got to the Bulls, and he created that little funky shot, but it was never blocked.
Nope, you couldn't get to it.
You couldn't get to it.
And he posted it. And unlike what other people would love to say, he posted the hell out of you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So many of those
daylights out of you.
Those older players, man, and they played against plumbers back in the day.
You know what? I'm so sick of that argument.
Come on, man.
I am so sick of that argument.
Yeah.
I'm sick. You know what? We may as well just do this right to wrap up the week, because didn't do it right on Wednesday, but we may as well just do this right now.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
All right. I normally do this on Wednesday, as you know.
Man, you gotta send me that.
Oh, no problem. No problem. As I mentioned, we only do this on Wednesday. You're a faithful follower of the show. Cole Johnson created that on his show. I said borrow it, and he sent it to me, to our man Cole Johnson. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Cole.
I'll definitely send it to you. But I'm sick and tired of LeBron being compared and hailed as one of the greatest when he's the most over mediocre player I've ever seen in my life.
Here's the thing with Bron that people don't seem to understand. And again, I'll say it again. Great athlete.
Yes.
In terms of the athlete part, okay, I'll give it to you. One of the best ever. I'll give it to you. But my problem is not him as an athlete. My problem with him is as a player. Everything he's done is linked to what? Longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Longevity and being the main star on a team. When he hasn't played on a real basketball team or a team with other stars that's on his level since he was with the Heat.
Exactly. And somehow he became the stars for that team when he shouldn't have been.
Exactly.
And there is a certain player that he is always compared with. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of him being compared to Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
And he shouldn't be.
When Bron himself said he's the greatest. Bron himself said it. But then when he said that Bron was the greatest in 2016, when he was handed a championship courtesy of Adam Silver, and we all know what happened with that went down in 2016.
Oh yeah.
Listen, for all you Bron sexuals out there, I've said it before and I'll say it again. And you've heard me say it live on the air.
Mm-hmm.
There was one fundamental piece that Bron never had when he came into the league. And you want a comparison? I want you to take a look at this sequence.
He looks to bring it in. He comes in and throws it away. The Bulls have it. Here comes Michael Jordan on the drive, 5 seconds. Jordan on the drive, right in the lane, 18-footer. Yeah! 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 Yeah!
There. A jump shot. A jump. Y'all want to see it again? Watch this.
He looks to bring it in. He comes in and throws it away. The Bulls have it. Here comes Michael Jordan on the drive, 5 seconds. Jordan on the drive, right in the lane, 18-footer. Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Now, this is what a crowd was like when their team completed a comeback. It's courtesy of WF. Yeah, it's courtesy of Sports Channel 1989, February 16th.
Is Cummings saved the ball. So they get it to Michael Jordan, wrap around the back. Takes it, looks for three. It's not there. Goes in the free throw line, up over Jack Sigma. What does he find? Nothing but net, but points 49 and 50 for Jordan to give the Bulls a lead. 117 to 116. Michael loves it. This is their first lead in the second half.
Don't ever compare those two again.
The thing that always got me, I never understood where that comparison came from, because when you go back and you look at it, and I've said this on my show several times, when you go back and you look at it, LeBron should be more compared to Magic, because when you go back and you look at it, the assist totals, everything like LeBron does is exactly what Magic did. He brought the ball up the floor, just like Magic did. The ball was always in his hands. Jordan was a different story. Pippen brought the ball up the floor 9 times out of 10.
And that was through the urging of Phil Jackson.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, that was through the urging of Doug Collins.
Pippen brought the floor.
Later on that year, John Paxson suffered an injury that kept him out of the lineup. So Doug Collins had to work with 2 shooting guards, Michael Jordan, and y'all know the other one, Craig Hodges.
Who got blackballed.
Had to work with Craig Hodges. So what does Doug Collins do? Mike, you play the point. And an achievement that LeBron will never have, 7 consecutive triple doubles. And the Bulls went 6-1 in those games. 7 consecutive triple doubles. And now it's gotten to the point where people in the media want to find every comparable stat and rank him over MJ. But when you take a deeper dive into said stat, it's not even worth it.
I think the only thing that you could say, and it's because of the era in which he played, LeBron might have an edge when it comes to the 3-point shot because of the way the errors are. But it's not like Michael didn't adjust to it.
Oh man,
because he did.
Game 1 of the finals, 1992. 6 of 10 from distance. Okay. And here's a stat my partner Cole brought up, and it's stuck in my head. They want to bring James Harden into the conversation, or Daryl Morey wants to bring James Harden into the conversation. The year Harden averaged 37 points. Here's a stat that blows that out of the water. Harden took over 400 3-point shots the year he averaged 37 points a game. You know how many 3-point shots Michael took total in the 86-87 season? A dozen.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a different game. It was a different game. The 3-point shot wasn't what it was then that it is now.
And I wouldn't blame Steph Curry for it, because all Steph did, and I've said this about him for the 16 years he's been active, all Stephen Curry did was take an anomaly and turn it into a weapon.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
You can't fault Steph for finding something and say, hey, this will help my game.
Yeah.
And it has for 16 years.
It has.
All Stephen Curry has done was take an anomaly and turn it into a weapon.
Yep.
What kind of impact, what kind of thing has Bron taken from an anomaly to a weapon?
Nothing.
Opposed to point guard is what Michael did. Coupled it with a jump shot, coupled it with flying through the air.
And remember,
knowledge.
And remember, Mike didn't come in with that jumper.
No.
Remember that. He didn't come in with that jumper.
Flying through the air until 87.
Yes.
And he worked on every year he worked on his game. You can equip that to what Stephen Curry has done every year for 16 years. He finds something to work on with his game to make himself better.
Yep.
What has Bron worked on in 22 years to make his game better? I'll answer that for you. Not a doggone thing.
Exactly. Say it again for the masses.
I'll say it again for those of us in the cheap seats at the old Seattle Center Coliseum and at the old Chicago Stadium.
Yes.
What has LeBron worked on in the 22 years he's been in the NBA? Not a dadgum thing.
Nothing. Same game every year.
I'll say it for those of us in the cheap seats at old McNichols Arena in Denver, Colorado, to the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, to the old Richfield Coliseum, Richfield, Ohio. Let me go a little further. The old Reunion Arena in Dallas. Remember that place?
Yeah.
How about the Pontiac Silverdome where the Pistons called home?
Remember that?
How about the Omni in Atlanta?
Yep. Dominique.
How about that?
Yep.
How about, here's a place I hated, but you couldn't get enough of it. How about the old Boston Garden?
Oh, yeah.
All right. How about the old Salt Palace in Salt Lake City?
Yep.
Smallest arena in the NBA, made the most noise.
Sure about did. And sold out.
Every game. The old Memorial Coliseum in Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
Same sellout number every game and made the most noise.
Yep.
What has LeBron done in 22 years to establish himself? What has LeBron taken from an anomaly and turned into a weapon?
Let me see. And let's break this down.
Please.
No baseline jumper.
None.
Remember, you remember back in the day, AC Green made his living off that baseline jumper.
And before AC Green made a living off that baseline jumper, here's an old Seattle Supersonic that made a living off of that baseline jumper and added a pivot to it. His name is Jack Sikma.
Nope. No post moves.
None.
No post moves.
Oh, we could name a bevy of people that had post moves.
But we didn't name bevy.
Larry Bird had post moves.
Larry Bird had post moves.
Days.
Yeah. So
and
really,
we know Michael Jordan perfected his post game. That turnaround jumper is sickening.
Yep. And then and one more thing with her. No fadeaway. You 6'9". Come on now.
Why don't you have a fadeaway?
Why not a fadeaway?
Why not? We all know the legend of Michael's fadeaway and how it came about because he kept getting beat up in the post.
Yep.
We said, okay, I'll add it to my post game.
The
two most indefensible shots in NBA history, Michael's fadeaway and a player I forgot to mention until now, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's
his
skyhook.
So much, it's so respected. No one even tries in today's game.
There was nothing you could do. There was nothing Robert Parrish could do. And they've had some legendary battles, right?
Yep.
They had some legendary battles.
Yep, they did.
Even Robert Parrish couldn't defend that skyhook. And Robert Parrish could defend everything under the sun in the post, man.
Yep. Amen.
Even Robert Parrish couldn't step out 20 feet and try to defend that thing.
Amen.
Even Kevin McHale couldn't step out 20 feet to try to defend that thing. Not even, here's a name for you. You ready for this name? James Buddha Edwards. One of them out of Washington.
Oh, and was one of the few Detroit Pistons that could actually fight.
Yes. James Edwards at 7'1" couldn't defend that skyhook.
He was a good
Well,
player.
LeBron basically has nothing except running down the lane, and he takes 3-4 steps every doggone time.
Yep.
And can we get rid of the Euro step, please? It doesn't fit.
No.
Doesn't fit.
And then one thing you can blame LeBron on for real. The dunk contest not being what it was.
The dunk contest sucks.
You can blame that on LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Because once LeBron starts saying, I'm not going to do it, because once LeBron says, I'm not going to do it, all the other stars decide to bow out.
Because he's too chicken to get in the contest.
Yep.
Let me say that again. He's too chicken to get in the contest, man.
At least Jordan was in a 3-point competition.
And look, Michael tried his shot at the 3-point contest, and he knew he wasn't going to do well.
He wasn't going to win.
He said, screw it, I'll try it anyway. He lost to his teammate, BJ Armstrong, in the first round.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to BJ.
He lost to his teammate, BJ Armstrong, in the first round.
Yep.
And the way it's presented on television and now streaming networks, the NBA, blows. What happened to I love playing this for you. What happened to this?
In Game 6, the Los Angeles Lakers took the floor with the defense of their title hanging in the balance. A battered Isaiah Thomas performed heroically for Detroit. But it wasn't enough. The Lakers escaped with a victory, forcing tonight's dramatic 7th game showdown. This has been a series of startling contrasts, from the friendships off the court to the fierce hostility on it. We've witnessed the youthful exuberance of the challengers and the poise of the champions. There's been hardship and pain, but not enough to overcome sheer guts and determination. These teams have battled to a standstill, and tonight their destiny will be determined. It's just a question of who can endure this final hurdle. The Lakers hope to repeat history tonight, while the Pistons hope to make some. A championship is at stake, and only one team's prayers will be answered.
You can't beat that.
No, and I blame it, and I blame these networks, and I blame these networks because they don't see the value of having your announced teams be epic. They don't see the value of that. Right now, you look at Inside the NBA as your main show. Everything else fails in comparison. But even Inside the NBA, as entertaining as it is, it still doesn't meet up with yesterday's standards.
No, it doesn't.
If you go back and you look at they added a level of drama to these games that they don't do today.
They sure did. Especially when it came to the playoffs.
Yep.
You don't see a conference series on 2 cable networks in the playoffs.
Mm-mm.
When CBS had the conference finals, they did both of them.
Yep. You knew already who was going to be the broadcast network for both of those games. You knew it.
You knew who was going to take the reins of you knew the announced team that was going to take the reins for each series.
Yep.
And even sometimes they'd alternate them like they did in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Because one game you heard Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown do the East Finals, and the West Finals was Vern Lundquist and the great Len Elmore.
Yep.
Then they would flip them around every couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't never go wrong with that.
No.
You can never go wrong with that. And I've always felt that after ESPN took the main NBA contract in 2002,
downhill.
And in many ways, I don't blame NBC for not trying to re-up the contract, but still, I would just think, are you kidding
me? ESPN was, and I still say to this day, a lot of stuff that they do, they try to put square pegs in a round hole.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at it in other stuff that they do too. If you go look at college football, I don't understand those host decisions there.
Mm-hmm.
Even the WNBA.
And they got full control of that contract.
Yep. I don't get what they're doing with that either.
They have full control of that contract.
They talking about they talking about, and I know this is off subject, but they talk about Angel Reese like she ain't got no flaws. That girl got plenty of flaws. And they talk about her like she don't have flaws. Yeah, you do.
She's got more flaws than me, and I don't play basketball. I am 52 years old, about to be 53 in July. Okay? I mean, what happened to this for college football on ESPN?
Oh, yeah.
What happened to that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Not caring about the pre and post show.
What happened to that, man?
Not caring about the pre and post shows anymore. Not caring. That's where that comes from.
Not caring exactly where that comes
from. Not caring about the pre and post. People don't understand your pre and post show can be the difference between people watching and people leaving.
Yep. And the radio station is taking over.
Yep.
Because I listen to more college football while I have the television muted, or I'm sitting here in studio strapped to a headset calling the darn thing myself.
Mm-hmm.
But when you heard something as iconic as this,
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's game time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's what's missing in the NBA now. Excitement.
For sure.
Excitement. They're supposed to bring the NBA back to NBC. I got a scoop for you. It ain't gonna last.
I don't think so either.
I
don't think it's gonna last on these other networks either. Because if you go back and look at some of these other shows, no.
And don't get me started. And that 4-letter network is doomed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as long as they're shelling out the money they are to cover the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball, they're gonna go right down the tubes.
That's why they
haven't already.
And that's the reason why they had to get rid of all that top tier talent, because you don't bought these contracts that you have to pay for now.
And they only pay 3 or 4 different mega stars, and they're sinking your network more than they're building it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, they put Pat McAfee in a mousetrap.
Agreed.
I said it. They put Pat McAfee in a mousetrap.
Agreed.
And there's nothing McAfee can do about it. He can't run his show the way he did when he was in a box truck and said, let's go for it.
Right. Sometimes you're better off staying independent.
Like we are.
Yep.
I'm not selling this for anybody.
And Notre Dame.
Oh, no, Notre Dame made a killing during the playoff, man.
Oh, yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
Killing.
I mean, every time a proposal came to them, why don't you join our conference? Man, get out of my office.
You can't match the money we make and staying independent. You can't match that.
Even when they lose the national championship, the whole boatload of money that comes their way for even participating in the national championship, they keep every penny.
Yep.
You're better off staying independent. So Bronzexuals, you're better off staying away from us because you'll never know basketball the way we did.
No.
Get out of here.
And the thing that kills me, a lot of these Bronzexuals.
Go for it.
I'll bring a person up. I'll bring a person up right now who is well known in the media. Nick Wright.
Oh no.
Nick Wright.
Or Nick Wrong, as we call
Nick
him.
Wrong. You've been on record saying the first time you saw Michael Jordan was on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
So how you gonna? So if you ain't never seen the man play in person, like we did, If you ain't never seen the man play in person, how
I
can you
saw
formulate an
MJ
opinion?
play in Game 2 of the 1991 Finals in Old Chicago Stadium when it was louder than hell in that place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm talking about the game where he switched hands.
Yep.
How did Jim Durham say it? Changing his mind in mid-flight.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was right. He was absolutely right.
Changing his mind in mid-flight. Johnny
Oh,
Kerr
man.
fell out of his seat.
Man. This whole thing with the LeBron James Justice League just be killing me.
Man, come on.
They be killing me. Bro.
You got more commentators trying to lift up LeBron James than not sticking their head in the old highlights and doing some research.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And even then, you can make a point. This man about to retire. You need to start bringing somebody else up to the forefront.
You know what? What makes it so bad? They already had or have the face of the NBA, and they won't publicize him. You know who that is? Stephen Curry.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have ignored him for 16 years. To a point where Nick Wrong said it wasn't Steph Curry that won those 2 championships in 17 and 18. It was Kevin Durant.
Get out of
The
here.
captain of the team.
Get out of here.
He actually, if I'm lying, I got a head full of hair, and you can see I'm as bald as Michael Jordan. I'm as bald as MJ. Anything to disparage Stephen Curry. Anything.
That's a bad take, too.
It's a horrible take.
Horrible take.
It's a horrible take. And I still make the argument that 17 and 18 should have been Steph Curry's MVP awards.
You can make it. That's a good argument. That's a good
You can
argument.
make an argument that in 17 and 18, Steph Curry should have won those MVP awards.
Mm-hmm. You make an argument.
But no, they want to bring listen, Kevin Durant should have stayed in California. You hear it at the intro of the show all the time. Kevin Durant, you should have never left California.
You need to make that thing with Draymond work.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at you now.
Yep. Being depended on, and you got so much on your shoulders already.
Mm-hmm.
Being depended on with so much on your shoulders already.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, it's too easy to dissect this. It's too easy. But no, people want to say, well, what about this or what about that? Okay, listen, let me just make this simple. The way the stuff that we saw growing up in the NBA was classic.
Yep.
End of story. When LeBron came along, it went down the chute.
Yep.
Because even the late great Kobe Bryant was pushed out. And it should have gone. It went. The way the people setting it up said it should have gone from Kobe to LeBron as the face of the league. Well, you already had your face in the league while LeBron was busy trying to make up his mind where he wanted to play. Stephen Curry showed up.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, oh, Steph didn't do anything. Oh no. Really? You're actually going to try to use that argument? And of course they're going to try to. Of course they're going to try to use that argument. Of course they're going to.
Steph is in the conversation for so many different topics. Can you imagine if Golden State didn't decide to keep Steph and kept Monte Ellis?
You know what? That would have cratered Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
But they made the right move.
Yep.
Kept Stephen Curry.
Yep.
And a dynasty was formed. Period.
And it's not like it's not like Monte Ellis' career went south. He flourished. He flourished too.
He flourished in Milwaukee.
Yep. Yep.
But the Warriors knew what they were doing when they kept Stephen Curry.
They knew it. They knew it.
They knew what they were doing.
Yep.
They absolutely knew. They absolutely knew what they were doing. Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
These bronsexuals have got to go. And
The
Braun, so do
LeBron
you.
James Justice League needs to be disbanded.
It needs to be blown to smithereens. How about that?
Boom.
It needs to be blown to smithereens. And that's you know what? One more. Listen, Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, and a few others do any and everything. You've seen it. I've seen it to disparage MJ and
Yes.
the impact. Yeah, I said the correct word. Impact that he had on that he had on the league. I mean, really? You're not even gonna try to say what kind of an impact he had on the league? Really?
Yeah.
That I mean, hell, Shannon Sharp came in wearing a goat head for God's sakes. After
I remember that.
Come on,
go James, go James,
come on,
go James, go James.
LeBron's no closer to being the greatest of all time than he is closer to being the most mediocre of all time, and that's what I've said. Okay.
Yes.
I've seen MJ win more games with jump shots than 3-4 steps down the lane, no travel being called because the officials are too chicken to call it.
Yes. Then all these flops.
Oh God.
He went to the Vlade Divac School of flopping. That's exactly what he did. He went to the Vlade Divac School of flopping. Because all the man
he perfected the flop.
You 6'9", 260.
And supposed to be strong as a bull. Yeah,
you mean
right.
to tell me somebody 6'5", 6'6", 215
can bowl into you?
Can bowl into you.
I mean, I've seen people jump over him.
Yes.
Many times. I've seen people jump over him many times over. Thank God. I've seen Steph Curry jump over him in the finals.
John Morant does it all the time. But
I know. John Morant does it. Of course, John Morant does it all the time.
All the time.
I mean, let's see. John Morant's done it. Seen Stephen Curry do it. Seen Draymond Green do it.
Greek freak.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Seen him do it. Seen Wemby do it.
Yep.
And Wemby's becoming one of my new favorites right now.
Yep.
I've seen Wemby do it. Really?
And Kendrick Perkins. I'm talking to you, Kendrick Perkins.
God.
I'm talking to you. You recently came out and said that Victor Wembanyama is not meeting up to top billing. Yes, he is.
Listen.
Stop it.
I will admit that when I first saw Wemby play, I didn't think he'd be up for the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw him play in person in Indianapolis, and I was proven wrong, and I got in front of this camera and said so. Does he need more frame? Does he need more upper body strength?
Yeah, he need to get Yeah.
I said the same about Giannis. Giannis took care of that. I expect Wemby to do the same.
Yep.
And I want to say something about LeBron that's going to haunt a lot of people when they look at him. I think LeBron's taking something.
People have been saying that for a minute now.
But they won't check it.
No.
They won't check it because he's the face of the league.
Yeah.
They won't check it.
But
they won't take a look at it.
Yeah.
They did for about a month. And then Adam Silver intercepted that and swept it under the rug.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, a GOAT wins with jump shots like this.
Griffin will toss in. B.J. Armstrong is on the floor for the Bulls, along with Michael Jordan. The inbounds a cart right to Jordan. Time winding down. Michael for three. Yeah! Yes! A winner! Unbelievable!
And
that's what I was saying. He adapted. And you saw what he was able to do once he did.
Wait, how did that go again? Wayne Larrabee
will toss in. B.J. Armstrong is on the floor for the Bulls, along with Michael Jordan. The inbounds a cart right to Jordan. Time winding down. Michael for three. Yes! A winner! Unbelievable!
You know it's good when you let it go and you sprint the other way
and get the heck out of Dodge.
And you get the hell out of Dodge. You get the hell out of there.
He took the whole team with him.
The whole team knew it was Trent Tucker. Trent Tucker knew it was good because he stood up while the ball was in mid-flight. Look again.
Will toss in. B.J. Armstrong is on the floor for the Bulls, along with Michael Jordan. The inbounds a cart right to Jordan. Time winding down. Michael for three. Yeah! Yes! A winner! Unbelievable!
Trent Tucker stood up in mid-flight when the ball was in mid-flight with his fist in the air saying, we're about to go home.
Yep.
It swishes through the net and they all take off.
Yep. He knew it. He knew it. Trent knew it. Trent knew it. He knew it.
The entire staff, the coaching staff was like, y'all get out of here. The coaching staff looked and said, all right, y'all get out of here. This basket's good.
Oh yeah. Y'all go. That three is good. Y'all go.
Like, go ahead. Like, everybody go ahead. And they all took off, and the Pistons are looking going, ain't this a bitch?
Yeah.
Get it again.
Yeah. And,
one more time for the road.
Pippen will toss in. B.J. Armstrong is on the floor for the Bulls, along with Michael Jordan. The inbounds a cart right to Jordan. Time winding down. Michael for three. Yeah! Yes! A winner! Unbelievable!
That's the ultimate hater right there, boy. Bill Laimbeer, that's the ultimate hater right there, boy. Woo, that's the ultimate hater, man. Ultimate hater.
But I will say this. I will say this in Laimbeer's defense. I had the chance. I had the wonderful opportunity to meet Bill Laimbeer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, when it was time to play, and you got in between those lines, you don't like your opponent. That's old school.
Yes.
All right.
Very much so.
But he's one of the most kindest men I've ever met. All right. And he told me as such. He said, I hated the Bulls when we played against them, but I loved it for the way that we played. He told me that himself. I tell you what, I miss the old era.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
I miss the old era.
More skillful.
More nerve.
More nerves.
More competition.
Actually ran plays.
Actually played positions.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Actually ran the pick and roll.
Yep.
Point guards actually ran up the floor. Now you got folks like LeBron James bringing it up the floor.
Walking the ball
walk across the timeline, and then pick up his dribble, walk across the timeline, and then dribble again.
Yep. Dribble. Oh, wait. It's 10 seconds in the shot clock. Oh, I got to throw something.
Brick. When he came in the NBA, I said that the NBA would never be the same again. And the first time I said that, someone looked at me and said, you mean that for a good thing, right? Hell no. Matter of fact, I got someone that can answer that question for me even better. Hey, Bishop Bullwinkle, when I said the game would never be the same again when LeBron showed up, did I mean that for the better?
Whoa. Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no.
And I never will mean that for the better.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Oh, yeah. He's a usher. He ushered in the downfall to the NBA that we love. That's fact. That's fact.
I have no argument, nor will I ever have an argument for that. He ushered in the downfall, and it's continued, even though you've already had the face of the NBA for 16 years, and you continue to ignore him.
Yep.
And that face was Stephen Curry.
Yep.
And he's going to go quietly into the night. He's going to retire. The Warriors are going to rebuild, and you still won't respect him.
Yep.
Why? Because yes, LeBron, it is you.
It is you.
It's always been you. It always will be you for the destruction of the NBA for 22 years. Forever and ever. Amen.
The problem is he don't believe it though. That's the problem. When the Lakers lose, it's everybody but him.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody but him.
Everybody but him.
We're too top heavy. Okay.
Dude.
So what did the Lakers do? What did the Lakers do? They got rid of everybody that was on that bubble team that won a championship,
including Dwight Howard.
Yep. And and say what you want to personally about the man. That's a travesty. He's not the top 50 or top 75.
And here's the thing: Dwight Howard was the reason defensively that bubble team won.
Yep.
Not Anthony Davis, not LeBron James.
Yep.
Dwight Howard kept that team in check defensively.
Mm-hmm. He made sure that he was a factor in stopping Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Day that.
Were he not, Denver would have won that Western Conference final in 5 games.
Oh yeah. I agree that. I agree with that. For sure.
So to the Bronsexuals, on behalf of William Morgan, I say, get out of our face, you thirsty bitches.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronsexual Confessions.
Please send me that.
I promise. I will send
oh my gosh.
I will make sure you get these immediately. I will make sure of that.
That's too funny. Oh my gosh.
Cole is evil and he's a genius for coming up with this.
Oh yeah. Shout out to my man Cole.
Thank you, man. This has been a delight. I loved having you. I got to have you back.
Thank you for having me, man. It's good to be back.
Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We hope y'all are too. And we'll be back in full on Monday. So long, everybody.